We're going to play a little game here, once again relating these teams to our hometown Memphis Grizzlies. We're going to play Compare the Player, Mike. So I'm going to give you a player that's in the finals in this series between the Pacers and the OKC Thunder, and I'm going to have you pick a player on the Grizzlies that you think plays like them stylistically. So you ready to do this?
I think so. I think so. It's tough, man. It's tough.
You're the guru, so I'm bringing this to you because I feel like you got your ducks in a row here. First one is easy, but I was very surprised by your answer when I texted you about it. Yeah. Tyrese Halliburton, who's your comp?
My comp for Tyrese Halliburton from the Grizzlies is Santi Aldama, right? And I'm going to explain why, right? I know you were expecting Ja Morant.
I thought you were going to go star for star.
They're both point guards and those kind of things, but the length, the ability to have that fancy, unorthodox passing, his ability to be long and get to the basket, stop for the floater. If you notice what Tyrese Halliburton did in this clinching game against the Knicks, he did a lot of floater work. He got to the rim, but he also did a lot of floater work from that standpoint. Used his length. Santi Aldama is one of those guys that can see the floor and make those fancy passes, sometimes too fancy, to the point where his players and his teammates don't really expect it. But I think in terms of comps, that's the kind of the look that Tyrese Halliburton has. It's a poor man. Santi Aldama is a poor man's version of that.
I think I actually really like the comparison once you told me what it was.
And once you show these clips, it's even more so the case.
Once I started looking at it, I was like, wow, Santi is kind of long and lanky, does kind of surprise you with his speed and his quickness at times. I think when you're looking at him, you see him as a defender is probably more of a spot-up shooter more than anything else, and somebody who probably does have pretty good ball vision, passing ability. But much like what the Grizzlies talk about when they talk about Ja is, you're almost not expecting the passes that he makes when it comes to him getting in the lane and that kind of thing. I think Santi kind of does a little bit of the same thing, and we know that Tyrese Halliburton is a phenomenal passer. So I actually really like that comp once you gave it to me. I was like, oh, you know what?
Yeah, Ja gets all the way to the rim. Yeah, way more than Halliburton does. He's more explosive, but in terms of herky-jerky, weird dynamic, giving you the looks from different hands and different angles, Santi Aldama kind of gives you a little bit of that from a European style.
And Santi will handle the ball a lot for Spain when he plays overseas and with the Olympics team. So that's a really good point. Next, we're talking about Luguentz Dort from the Thunder. And this is another one of those where, I thought about Dort, and I didn't really know where to go with it in terms of video and stuff.
Yeah.
What you got?
Look at the physical build right there. We just saw two pictures of these two guys side by side. Just basic outside, inside linebackers in terms of how they're built, the physicality that they play with. Now, we haven't seen Lamar Stevens get a lot of primary minutes, but this is a role that he could play. And I hope that the Grizzlies bring him back and give him an opportunity to get out there to be that physical defender, as we see what he did against Kevin Durant there, and sort of give you that dynamic. He's worked on his three-point game this offseason. And again, very poor man's version of it, end of the bench version of it. But in terms of reasonable facsimile, that's the guy right there for Lu Dort.
I think that's a pretty good comparison too.
I'm 2 for 2 so far. Huh? 2 for 2.
We're talking about like a junkyard
outside the
dog,
box,
junkyard dog kind of style, a guy that you may. I think Dort's going to get paid, but I think when we talk about Lamar Stevens, we were on your show yesterday talking about do you pay pass or ponder? And we both said we should pay Lamar Stevens. You're not going to give him crazy money, but that's a guy that you could depend on. I think to give you really good minutes off the bench. It's a good depth piece and somebody who you don't mind using fouls on.
Right. And he's mentally tough. He's not going to back down from anyone.
Yeah, I think that's a really good one. All right, last one. The Pacers, Benedict Mathurin.
Mathurin. Scottie Pippen Jr. is that same kind of guy, tough-minded. You don't necessarily see him coming, but he just continues to make plays when he's called upon. He's one of those utility guys, one of those off-the-bench X factors. He can handle it a little bit. He can shoot a little bit. He can get to the paint a little bit. He defends. And he also has that irrational confidence. And that's what Scottie Pippen Jr. has, irrational confidence, because you can't tell Scottie or Ben that they're not superstars in this league in the making.
I like this one too, but I like what you talk about irrational confidence, because one thing we say about Scottie is sometimes we're like, Scottie, just slow down. Why are you? He's one of those guys who plays at kind of a million miles a minute. Yeah. And at the same time, and I think Benedict Mathurin's kind of the same way. But it's like you can't tell them anything in terms of their style of play, in terms of just getting to the basket, in terms of just the attitude that they walk in with. If you talk to Benedict Mathurin, he's gonna talk to you like I'm the best scorer on
Absolutely.
the floor every time he walks on the floor. And I think Scotty kind of has a little bit of that dog to him as well.
Yeah, no question about it. And both of those guys, you don't want to harness them too much, because if you try to control them too much, you take them away from their instincts for what makes them special and competitive. Those are two guys that will definitely boost your bench, or even put them in a starting lineup they can produce too. They're not afraid of any moment, and they have the skill set to back it up. And they're both defensively oriented as well.
All right, this one's going to be a surprise for you. It's
Uh-oh.
a surprise for them too, because I didn't.
You didn't send me this one.
I didn't put a lower third or video or anything with this one.
Okay.
TJ McConnell.
Ooh, for the Grizzlies, TJ McConnell, someone that's in the rotation that kind of plays. That's a tough one, man, because what TJ does, he's a spark plug I would say Vince Williams, in a way. Kind of, he has that unorthodox dribble, delivery, kind of gangly, you never really can box him into anything. You don't know what to expect from them. They're different pace of players.
Yeah.
But in terms of the unexpected, and they're delivering on the unexpected, I think those two guys will give you that same kind of dynamic.
You know who I thought of when I thought of it kind of in the moment?
Yep.
Yuki Kawamura.
If
Yuki was actually getting minutes, I think you see a lot of what TJ McConnell would bring to a team in terms of pace, right? A guy who can get up and down the floor really quickly, a guy who passes really well, and a guy that I think when it comes to the defensive side of things, he clearly has the weakness in being a smaller guard, but one that is very scrappy, very quick, and is going to create a lot of turnovers just with his speed.
I can see that. You got to get. I mean, you're giving Yuki a lot, just like in the Lou Dort and Lamar Stevens, right? I'm projecting really right. But I mean, I can see how that would make sense. Now, if I was going to go that deep into the bench, I would have gone Cam Spencer over Yuki, just because Cam has that doggedness to him. He has that, I'm going to get up in anyone's face. I'm not going to back down. I'm going to die out here on the court if I have to go get this loose ball. That's more Cam Spencer-ish than if I was going to go that deep in the bench. But I was trying to give somebody who has some minutes.
Fair enough.
From that standpoint.